Hello, I'm Adelaine, a growth associate at Topple, a blockchain protocol built to drive sustainable and inclusive impact. Before Topple, I pursued a degree in economics from Cornell, and my non-econ major friends always used to joke that for an economist, reality is a special case. I must concede that they're not wrong. All economic models are riddled with assumptions ranging from perfect information to human rationality. So there are gaps in traditional economic theory, especially regarding collective action and shared resources. Eleanor Ostrom, a Nobel laureate in the economic sciences, identified some of these gaps in her work on public goods and the tragedy of the commons. She says, what is missing from the policy analyst toolkit and from the set of accepted, well-developed theories of human organization is an adequately specified theory of collective action, whereby a group of principles can organize themselves voluntarily to retain the residuals of their own efforts. Web3 innovations such as DAOs and token governance offer us the possibility of the collective organization and collective action that Ostrom suggests here. The tragedy of the commons that Ostrom's work revolved around is known as a market failure. A market failure doesn't just refer to a recession or depression, but in economics, a market failure is when a lack of alignment of incentives leads to the inefficient allocation of resources. The climate crisis is arguably the largest market failure that is affecting humanity today. And we are about $3.1 trillion short on the resource allocation required to solve the climate crisis effectively. So what caused this allocation gap? And what can be done to solve it? A lack of coordination from not having the tools to collect, manage, and make sense of information leads to inefficient resource allocation. This is something that has an easy fix with blockchain and Web3 innovations, from writing data onto chain, as well as the DAOification of impact projects and governance rights of tokens to allocate capital. Second, sustainability isn't just about environmental sustainability, but also economic and social sustainability. Institutions make goods because there is a market for these goods, and they offer services because there is a market where they can trade these services for currency. What is missing at the moment is a market where social and environmental impact can be monetized and capital allocated appropriately by the community based on democratic values and public information. Web3 and blockchain are unique technologies that are exceptional at creating just this type of markets for impact, and not just centralized markets dominated by monopolies and divided across national boundaries, but a global market where individuals and institutions alike can put their money where their values lie, both ethical and financial values. A market where impact can be transacted at a market-decided price, and decisions on resource allocation can be made by token holders invested in the project. This moves impact out of the sole purview of charity and public affairs and rather creates a compelling and profitable market mechanism where externalities are quantified and transacted appropriately with consensus from actors in the market. This is what we have sought to do at Topple: create a market for impact, where impact is verified, quantified, and packaged into tokens, which can then be transacted on the blockchain. An impact token is simply a digital representation of real-world impact that is stored on a blockchain. Tokens represent impact metrics and can be transacted to enable impact funding. But what frameworks can we use to create these new markets? There are many different approaches. At Topple, we've used the UN Sustainable Development Goals, globally recognized impact standards, to model our tokens. Along with various impact experts and organizations, we have created a portfolio of impact tokens to test the market for this new funding instrument. What we're looking to do with the impact token pilot is assess the market for impact tokens. And to that end, we want to answer 3 primary questions about demand, price, and technical token standards. The first, who are the primary buyers of impact tokens and what drives the market demand for them? Second, how can impact be quantified across different SDGs, and how does this impact translate into a token's price? Finally, what kinds of token standards and data collection methods support maximum interoperability both among blockchains and also across different use cases? So how are impact tokens created and transacted? The life cycle of an impact token is long and involves a variety of stakeholders. Through this process, we have learned that an intuitive user experience is essential, especially given that Web3 adoption is still in its infancy, and therefore having Web2 interfaces supported by blockchain technology on the back end is the best route. First, impact tokens or metrics are collected on site. Most reputable impact-centric organizations do this anyway. Second, data is written onto the blockchain using an intuitive and accessible interface. Next, tokens are minted on-chain using smart contracts as certain impact metric thresholds are achieved. For example, when 1 metric ton of plastic is recycled, a smart contract can mint a new token. Finally, individuals or institutions can then buy these tokens on a token exchange in order to invest in the impact projects and organizations that they represent. Think of it almost like a stock market for impact projects. Through this model, token holders gain transparency into the project's progress and can see where their funds are being used. They can even gain governance privileges using the tokens that they have bought. Here's an example of one of our impact tokens. This is the Healthy Reefs SDG 14 Life Underwater token. Impact tokens really do have the power to revolutionize impact investing by increasing liquidity, democratizing impact investing, and aligning incentives. The market is in its nascency at the moment, and there is much work to be done. However, once it becomes profitable to solve the climate crisis, once it becomes profitable to educate girls, to provide urban sanitation, and so forth, there will be the necessary resources allocated to these noble initiatives. Finally, this is not the first time that Topple has discussed impact tokenization at SBS. If you're interested in learning more about technical token standards, their composability, and how we at Topple translate impact into these tokens, please watch the talk that my colleagues Erin and Nick gave at SBS Boston. You can learn more about the pilot from the article linked here as well. Both of these are accessible via the QR code at the bottom of the page. Finally, if you want to be a part of this pioneering journey with us, please follow us on our socials, join our Discord, and you can do this by going to topple.community. We'd love to work on this collaboratively, and so if you're running a project that's interested in the impact tokenization, please make sure to reach out because we would love to work with you. Thank you.